Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to this syllabus video. And in this video, we're going to cover the syllabus to some extent. Okay, I know there's a syllabus quiz and you're going to be doing essentially the same idea. But just in case you're confused about anything, I want to go over the syllabus and some of the main components so that you can have it from yourself and from me as well. So here's our course syllabus. All right, Math 140 and Math 140S combined. So it's two sections combined into one. The main section is just Math 140. That's going to be a 4-unit course. That's where most of the work's going to be. And then the support course is Math 140S. That's going to be about 2 units. Um, and we are fully online. So, yeah, it's a two-course class, but what we're really doing is combining everything into one course because a lot of things overlap, right? Um, Covering a lot of the same stuff. So, we're treating this as one kind of big course. Okay, so don't worry about it. Don't get confused by that. If you see my introduction or anything like that, you know my name is Matt Escajeda. I'm your professor for this course. Here's my email. Probably Canvas is the easiest way to get a hold of me. Okay. Just because I'm on Canvas a lot more than my email. And it's directly linked to this class. So just Canvas, I would say, is the best bet. Um, Here's my office hours. Okay. Stated again, they're everywhere on Canvas and in other videos. But yeah, I'm mainly an in-person teacher. This is my only online class. So a lot of my office hours are in person. So Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays is right after my classes, like at 12:45. Mondays it ends at 1:45. Tuesdays and Thursdays it ends at 2. And these are both after like my calculus classes. They're going to be in my office and the Las Madonas math building. Fridays, I try to have that open. I think that should tailor more to this class, my online class. 10 to 11:30. It could be in my office or it could be on Zoom. Okay, maybe are free for you. Maybe you work during the week, and Fridays you could get some time. We could do that on Zoom. Okay, and if there's an emergency, just shoot me an email. Maybe we could set up on Zoom sometime. But I do like to have some boundaries with my office hours. I can't just be Zooming at like random times at night with my family. Okay, so that's the way to get a hold of me. Just uh, you know let me know. Okay, so let's talk about required materials. Okay, so this is in the welcome letter, but we could talk about it here as well. The main required material is going to be an XYZ All Access Pass. All right, so it's an online homework system. It's about $45. Okay, and maybe you're taking this class and you're not exactly sure. It's a 15-day free trial before that payment kicks in. But it's something we're going to need, all right? It's something we got to do for our homework. So like the best way to do it is you're in Canvas, you click on assignment, and it's going to ask you to sign up. That's where you would create an account using your student email. Um, or you can go to the actual XYZ website. That's a little more outside the domain. We like to just keep it inside of Canvas. So I still just recommend just clicking on assignment and signing up in Canvas. You go to the bookstore, maybe you have some financial aid program like EOPS. Maybe you get to pay for a pass there. So go to the bookstore, you could get one um, with your financial aid program. So that's something we got to have though. Like that's part of our homework. That's what we're gonna have quizzes with, etc. Okay, so that's something we got to have. And just make sure to sign with your student email. Sometimes students sign in with their Gmail and they're like, I can't get in, but it's because it needs a student email. It's a scholastic system. Um, so this signing up for it comes with if you're the ebook for the class. All right. It's not required, but it does give you the ebook in case you're curious what our textbook looks like. And of course, being a student, you want to have like a 3-ring binder line, paper, pencil, and eraser for your homework and keeping notes, things like that. Okay, so that's mainly the required materials. We can check out XYZ in a second once we get to that topic, but that's what we got to have, all right? Optional materials, it is an, applied calculus class, so we do need some type of calculator. A graphing calculator is definitely recommended. TI-84 looks like this. Recommended, you could use Desmos. It's a free graphing calculator app. You can download it on your phone. It looks green like this. So you're going to need those for homework and for quizzes and exams, but um, it's beneficial to you, but I don't want you to go out and spend money for a calculator when you're not gonna maybe gonna be using it too much outside of this. Okay, so maybe use Desmos. It's up to you, okay? But you're gonna need some type of graphing utility. Okay, so let's keep moving. Course description. So, like I was saying before, we have like two classes built into one. 140 is the main one. 140S is a support section. So here's like the descriptions for both, right? I'll let you read through this, but it's essentially calculus applications to business, economics, biology, and social and life sciences. And 140S is essentially just a support for the skills. Okay. So 140S, a support is really built into our course content. And I don't like to separate everything. I'm going to keep everything the same so that we're not going back and forth between two separate courses. So it's all built into one. So don't worry about that. Okay. So let's keep going. Frequently asked questions about this combo, right? Uh, like I was saying before, the course is going to be blended across two classes. So everything is just tied together. I'm not sending you different places or sending you different videos or assignments. Everything is together. You'll get 2 grades for each course, but you'll get the same grade for both courses. So I'm just looking at Math 140. If you get an A in Math 140 at the end of the semester in December, you're going to get an A for Math 140 and an A for Math 140S. Okay, you're getting the same grade for both. Okay. And can I drop the support and stay enrolled in the main section? No, you can't. If you drop the support, you'll be dropped from both. Okay, so you got to be in both sections. Okay. And another part right here, I'm just publishing a Canvas page for the 140. You're not going to see the 140S Canvas page. Okay, just to keep everything simple. Okay, so let's change the highlighter color and let's get into class delivery. So it's an online class. And the way I would do this online class is everything is paced through weekly modules. There's 16 weeks. Every week's going to have a module. Week 1, week 2, week 10, week 15. And then within each module, there will be specific content covered, or maybe it's an exam week, and assignments related to the content. Okay, so for each one of these modules, I'm going to provide lecture videos and lecture notes for the topics that we cover, right? There's no surprises or anything like that. I'm going to give you all the materials that you need. Okay, so yeah, watch the lecture videos and fill out your notes uh, before doing the assignments, all right? Okay, so online drop policy. So I have a couple, orientation, introduction assignments like the syllabus quiz and the meet and greet discussion. If you don't complete these by the first week, I'm assuming if you don't complete those, then you probably aren't watching this video, but I'll just say here as well. Then you got to meet me in person. And if you don't, then I'm going to drop you from the course. Okay. So you got to complete these 2 assignments to stay in the course. And if you don't, I'm going to drop you. Okay. Just got to be aware of fake students. Okay. Uh, During the semester, if there's like a 2 week period where you're not doing anything, I'm gonna drop you. Okay. Um, and then if I don't notice that or anything, it's your responsibility to drop if you are not going to be a part of the class anymore. Okay, so Let's get into grading summary and all the assignments and their details, okay? Um, the XYZ homework that I was talking about, the online homework, that's going to be 10%. We're going to have lab assignments that each week that pertain to material we're learning. That's also 10%. It's an online class, so we're going to have some discussions in small groups on Canvas, like discussion boards. This is where a big part of our support section comes in with self-checks, extra practice problems, and things like that. That's 6%, quizzes, 10%. Those are through XYZ as well. Um, and then two exams, both 17%. And one final exam at the end of the semester for 20%. Okay, so let's kind of talk about each one of these. So XYZ homework, right? 10% of our grade. It's a web-based homework system. Okay. In this homework system, you know, you can try a problem an unlimited number of times. So theoretically, you could get 100% on everything. It's just that, like, do you want to? But yeah, you get like three attempts. Um, if you miss a third attempt, you just get a new problem and keep trying, okay? So XYZ homework, I'll always have those be due Fridays at night for like that specific week. Okay. So it's like week one, or excuse me, week two, we'll do our first XYZ assignment. That would be due Friday of week two. Okay, so it's always due the same week, Friday. Okay. And say like you missed a deadline, you can apply a late pass, like on the homework assignment, it'll say late pass. It's just a 20% penalty. Okay, so as we're, getting back into math, I recommend keeping track of all your work. So I recommend putting all your like XYZ homework in a spiral notebook so that you can use it later for like studying or referencing like, oh, I remember a problem like that, okay? But yeah, so just to reiterate it, like you gotta buy XYZ pass. You can't complete your homework without the pass, okay? Um, but yeah, you can. I would best thing to do is click one of the homework assignments to register. That would just be the best way to do that. So click on a homework assignment, it'll have you create your account, enter in your student email, and you know go from there. And then once again, you'll have a 15-day grace period in case you change your mind, then you don't got to pay. And there's always logistic problems, especially online. So if you're having trouble figure this out, please let me know. Okay. So before we move forward, I want to kind of show you what the XYZ might look like. So let's go to our Canvas page. So yeah, here's like our XYZ homework. We don't have any this week, so there's nothing in this module right now, but I want to show you an example. Like here's our first XYZ homework assignment, homework one, section 1.1, right? I'll click on that, and then this is what it looks like. It's well, after you create an account and sign in, it's just a homework system like this, and then you would you know, try the problems out one by one, like select the answer, enter in, right? So that's how it would work, right? Once you create your account, you just got to click the assignment and start doing the homework, okay? All right, so that's XYZ, and let's get into lab assignments. So lab assignments, we don't have one this week as well, just because we're doing some algebra review this week. But yeah, it's the same thing as XYZ. It's a lab assignment will be assigned for each section in class, okay? 10% as well. So for lab assignments, you guys are online students, so hopefully you guys are accustomed to like scanning a PDF. Adobe Scan is good, Cam Scanner is good. I use Adobe Scan, they're free mobile apps. And there's instructions on Canvas and the assignments how to do that. Okay, so yeah, lab assignments submit with the PDF. So lab assignments are always going to be due Wednesdays. Okay, and it's always due the following Wednesday. So week two material, for example, that lab assignment won't be due until like the next Wednesday, like the Wednesday in week three. Okay, so I give you guys about like over a week to do the material, do the questions. So use that time wisely, just stay on track. And so what I also like to do too is give you guys like a 2-day, 48 hour late window with no penalty. But after that, I won't accept the lab assignment. So say you can't submit it by Wednesday, maybe it's your mom's birthday, or you have a physics exam the next day. Well, maybe not physics, but maybe you just have like a paper due that night as well. You have 48 hours, so you still have until like Friday night to submit it. All right, no penalty. I'm also not a robot. I'm not going to grade something right at midnight. That's crazy. So, lab assignments, you have 2-day grace period. You have a week and then a 2-day grace period to submit it. All right, but after that, I'm not taking it. So, uh, that's how lab assignments work. Discussions. Okay, so this is an online class, so we're gonna have some online discussions. So, yeah, it's each week, right? Pertaining to our lab assignments. Um, you're gonna be put in small groups. So on Monday, you're gonna post like a solution to a problem. So this is like the following Monday. All right, so week 2 stuff, you'll post a discussion post the Monday of week 3. Okay. And then you're going to respond to people by Tuesday. Respond to 2 people. Okay. Then I'll go through there and I'll respond to you guys as well. But yeah, discussions, that's how we would do this. Okay. Your post Monday, 2 responses by Tuesday in your guys' small groups. Okay. So that's discussions. Once we get into the routine, it'll make more sense. Quizzes, we'll have quizzes almost every week, right? These would be due Wednesday as well. Okay. So they'll be through XYZ um, homework. And then you could expect one every week. Okay. So Wednesday or Thursday, I'm kind of leaning towards Thursday, now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. Just kind of thinking about the game plan here. Um, okay. So self-checks. This is what like our support section covers a bit. 6% of your grade. And it really all it is to reinforce material. So extra practice. Okay. And these are assignments, right? But with these assignments, it's support. So what I do is I give you guys like lecture videos where I go over the problems. Okay. They're also on Canvas. They're in the weekly modules where the assignments are. Um, and Yeah, they'll be due Thursdays at midnight, but same idea, you could turn it in 48 hours, 2 days late. Okay, so you could have until Saturday. Maybe I'll even push it till Sunday. But yeah, there's just extra practice problems to support you. And I make videos where I go over the problems and you could just follow along and complete it. Okay. So that's how that would work. Okay, exams. So we're gonna have 2 exams and 1 final. Okay. There will be no makeup exam, so if you miss it, you can't make it up, all right? Um, so exams, we're going to be taking them through XYZ as well, the homework system we're paying for. And there's some parameters around that, but we'll get towards that when we do the exam, okay? But it's going to be through XYZ, and here's the logistics if you want to read through those, all right? So I know you guys are online, but we do have math tutoring locations. So yeah, we have some in Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Math Lab, Berwyn Math Lab. Great instructors, great tutors. Make sure to check them out. Student responsibilities, make sure to read that. Accommodations, DSPS, religious holidays. We're online class, so you just doesn't really apply too much unless it's like on an exam day. But you know, uh, should be good there. Teaching philosophy. All right, so my goal is to help all of you. Okay. that's my goal. Like I'm not doing this to make life unfun. It's to help you guys achieve your goals, right? Want to make it understandable, uh, and relaxed, okay, and not intimidating. I'm not gonna try and trick you with anything. That's my philosophy. I want to get you guys to the next phase if you put in the work, okay? The main goal here is to have you guys be comfortable with working with numbers and graphs and rate of change, things like that for applied calculus. And if you want to put the work in, we can achieve that goal. Okay, so let's get into AI a bit. AI, it is pretty scary how much AI is used and how mainstream it is. Uh, it is almost 2027, so I'm not going to sit here and say you can't use AI when a lot of you are probably growing up on AI. So that wouldn't make too much sense of me. I guess just be careful with it. Uh, I would say it does shortchange your education if you rely on it too much. Um, Makes you know, your internal thinking less developed if you just rely on it so much. And like on your homework assignments, I could definitely tell if you're using AI, if you're using some crazy notation that I didn't teach, or you wouldn't use in a regular calculus class. So yeah, if I see an AI question, I'm gonna give it a 0. If we take an exam and it looks like you're using AI, then you're gonna get a 0. So be careful with it. Use your brain. Uh, be put in uncomfortable situations. But my advice is like use it, but don't abuse it. Uh, but yeah, okay. So that's my take on that. Cheating, yeah, just don't cheat. Don't use AI for everything. It's pretty straightforward. Online class policies, right? So make sure to read through these. Be respectful. Think before you post. Use appropriate language. Be considerate. Okay. Some of that basic stuff. So here are the student learning outcomes for both the 140 course and the support section. So bunch of learning objectives. You want to read through those. And then I'm going to have a course schedule here. It's also on Canvas, but yeah, it's just what we're going to be doing week by week, right? So we're in week 1, so this is going to be introduction and algebra review. So lots of introductions, algebra review assignment, and then we're going to get into some materials. So each week we'll be covering specific sections from our textbook, but don't worry, I have notes for you guys, and I'm going to be lecturing off the notes, all right? And then just be paying attention to exam days, all right? Okay, so I think that takes care of the syllabus. Um, Not the most fun part of the course, but just want to make sure you're hearing me kind of explain things instead of like looking at syllabus and filling out the syllabus quiz. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, let me know. But thank you, and I'll see you guys in another video. All right, take care.